Well, hello, and welcome to another little bit of positive balance in an uncertain world with Therapy Ted and me. And I hope you're all well. I hope you're all having a good day today. I have been doing a little bit of testing around the YouTube channel and where we are going forward. The feedback has been very positive so far, so I am going to be continuing with these. However, we will be dropping to once a week from next week. I think as more and more businesses get back to normal and more, and hopefully I will be back to be working normally, hopefully at the beginning of July, or more normally anyway, if that can be said, with all the other guidelines that seem to be coming at us. So this will be the last Friday that I do the balances, and from next week it will just be on the Tuesdays that you will be getting the balances. But what you can do is you can always rewatch any balance that you like. Every time you rewatch, you will get something slightly different. I know I had one client who said that she watched one of the balances, and she hasn't actually made it through yet. She'd done it 3 times and she fell asleep each time. So obviously her body wants her to zonk out to get the really full depth of the balance. So hopefully she's managed to stay awake through it now, because I know she was going to go at it again. But you can get these balances, you can rewatch them at any time, and they will definitely be of benefit to you. And even if the balance seems to be very similar, it will be working on a slightly different level. Okay, now today's balance is actually, we have an issue title, and it's I am safe. So the first thing I want you to do is I want you just to close your eyes, and I want you just to think, I am safe, and just see how that makes you feel. Are you thinking, oh yeah, absolutely, feel completely safe, absolutely fine? Or varying degrees down to, I don't really feel safe at all. In fact, I feel really quite scared. I want you to see where you feel that in your body. Is it all in your head? Or are there parts of your body that are also feeling different sensations? Do you feel a bit sick? Do you feel a bit queasy? Do you feel tight? Do you feel tension, pressure? Or is it just a certain sense of not quite sure what, but just not really relaxed? And hold that thought, because we will come back to it. So this balance, we are now on episode 32. So we have something on the body, and that's one of the Tree Angel Oracle cards, and it's Beech. And the beech tree is about determination, and it's about focus, and it's also about trust, which I think is something that's really needed at the moment. And this can be trust of other people, but it's also trust of yourself, trust that you will make the right decisions, that you will be fine, trust in the universe has your back. But Beech is also about learning from experience, that, you know, we've got all this past behind us, that's all there, but we can learn from that. We can ground ourselves very firmly in the present and move forward with all of that experience that we've recently had, and all the way through your life, in fact. So it's a quantum kinesiology balance, and we do have 2 cosbats, and they are on the sacral chakra. So this is to do with creativity, but it's also to do with emotions. So absolutely perfect for something which may be making you feel a little bit unsettled. So the first harmonic is actually a survival mechanism. So we're straight into these. We don't have any original triggers this time at all. And this is trauma compartments in your DNA. Now, for those of you who aren't really aware of sort of your genetic code, your DNA, this is something that you've inherited from your parents and your grandparents, your great-grandparents, you know, back. Now, what comes in with that is something called, it's kind of like a coding that goes on top of that. And this is where you can have what's called trauma compartments. So it's when things have happened to your ancestors and it was traumatic enough that there's sort of like a shadow gets put over your DNA, and that then sort of just sits there and it can alter how your DNA expresses. But it's always a good idea if you've got something that's hovering there and you don't need that. It's just like a residue, it's like a bit of garbage that's come down through your ancestral line and it's just kind of kicking around. You don't need it. Your descendants don't need it for whatever reason. It's of no use to you or your descendants. Then in this balance, we'll take some of that off, whatever's appropriate for this balance. We obviously won't take all of it off in this balance, but some of it will go. We then go into 2 ancestral healings. So again, a lot of stuff being removed that you've inherited from your ancestors today. The first one is repeating events. This will be anything that is similar. It may not be exactly the same event, but where the emotion was very similar. So maybe it was repeating events where you felt very unsafe. And this is kind of now in the background there, telling your subconscious, we don't feel safe. This isn't a safe world. We don't like this at all. So again, you're going to have that heightened level of fear. The second ancestral healing is actually branches out to other relatives. Now, this is an interesting one, and if this doesn't, if you don't believe that this is possible, then just ignore this particular harmonic. But there is a belief that what you inherit and the way that we work with kinesiology means that when we do work, if your children or your relatives have a similar or the same piece of programming, that if they don't need it and it is our intention, that as it's attached to a similar DNA structure, we can remove it. It's like an energetic line that ties you to all of your relatives, and we can unpick some of those if it's actually of no use to any of you. So that's kind of a nice gift. So if you've got children, you're removing it from your children. And if you've got brothers, sisters, nieces, nephews, where you've got that link, then we can remove it from them if it's appropriate. As those of you who are clients know, that we have to hang on to the stuff that we need for our own life, what we need to learn in our life if we haven't already learned it. And then finally, we go into the core belief, which is I am safe. So what I want you to do is I want you just to close your eyes again. I'm just going to grab my notes here because I've just remembered I've forgotten to pick this up. So I want you to absorb the truth of the following statement and harmonic. I am unique, beautiful, talented, and lovable. I accept that everything I do, feel, and say on my life's path is part of my growth to higher states of understanding and consciousness. I see the world as a wonderful playground for me to express my magnificence. I am safe. Now, you don't need to remember all of that. You just need to remember that I am safe bit. So that's all we've got for this particular balance. So I will pop Therapy Ted on the paperwork so he can get going. We'll just pop him just there. So he's kind of, I just thought you might, for those of you who maybe don't like to close your eyes, you can actually see that he's still there and he's still working. So there he is. Okay, so I want you to keep your eyes closed. I want you to keep thinking, I am safe. I'm going to put a little bit of music on. So the fact that I'm not talking quite so much, you can still hear that the video is still actually going on. And just go into the body. And just take one deep breath. Just think that statement again. I am safe. Take another deep breath. Then again, I am safe. And another deep breath. Now I want you to imagine that behind you there's row upon row upon row upon row of ancestors. All these people that are all part of your family that go back over centuries and centuries, all the way back to that very first pair. You don't have to know who they are. Your DNA knows who they are. You're linked by this invisible web that stretches back through time. And all of these people have a vested interest in you surviving and going on. They have all that experience, all that knowledge, which is there at your disposal if you want it. All these people have your back. I want you to see them all linking hands, creating a network of ancestors. In life, some of them may not have got on, but now they're all united. Can you feel those links being forged? Can you feel that web of protection? To think, I am safe. Take another deep breath. And now for those of you with children, or those of you who plan to have children, I want you to, in your mind's eye again, I want you to see your children and their children and their children's children all standing in front of you. And you are the connection from that web of everybody behind you. And it's coming through you. And it's passing through you down, through time, to all of your descendants. Give them the gift of feeling safe. Think again for me. I am safe. Take one deep breath. And then just go inside the body again and see how that feels. Can you feel a change? Is there more certainty? Can you feel that gift that you've been given and the gift you've passed on? And there we go. That is it for today. So, just come to slowly. Therapy Ted has done here. And I won't wake you up too much. Hopefully you're still feeling quite zoned out, which would be nice, very nice if you are. And Therapy Ted and I will say goodbye from another little bit of positive balance in an uncertain world. We'll see you again on Friday. And if this is the first time you've watched these and you'd like some more, then obviously hit the subscribe button and the little notification bell and let me know whether you found this balance helpful. Okay, bye-bye now.